Hello there, and welcome to the Smackdown review, the go home show for Crown Jewel. Right, so before we get into this, it is noted that this episode of Smackdown is pre-recorded. It looks like it got recorded last week, as when I went to check Smackdown out, see what time it was on, because the clocks have changed. It turns out that the results were already there. Now, I didn't look at them, I actually watched it still, as I should have, and saw everything for myself. But this episode was pre-recorded. We go into SmackDown with the Deville and Liv Morgan match. So it's the Extreme Rules match, which is a bit weird that they didn't. It's weird to have it on a SmackDown, but it's nice. So we start off with Deville and Liv, as I said. Sonya Deville is so underutilized, it's ridiculous. Like, she is so incredible. And this is before we even get into the match. She's an incredible athlete, incredible superstar, and especially when she had that authority run last year, incredible. Back and forth, like it started off quite quick, quite fun. Liv is a star. Liv Morgan is over. That championship has actually helped her out. A lot of people are, she's lost the title, and we all thought, oh, great, especially to Ronda. But she's a star. Everyone's still into her. This crazy gimmick is working well for her, so it could go somewhere. Number one rule: if you're gonna set up a table, you're gonna go through it. This was proven a little bit later on. So they set up the table on the side and they start going back and forth, and they're both on the apron. And Deville's basically trying to chuck Liv onto it. So instead of one going through it, they both just jumped through the table. It was good. It was great. They literally both jumped through the table, and Liv is on the floor laughing her head off before we cut to a commercial. This I thought was brilliant. It just shows that Liv is willing to do anything. Liv reminds me of Lita, an extreme that loves extreme. You know, like Lita was such a trendsetter for this generation going forward. And Liv reminds me a lot of Lita in the sense that she's not afraid to get extreme, but she enjoys getting extreme. So yeah, they both went through the table. She's laughing her head off. We then go back into the ring. There's a couple of spots where there's a nice code breaker from the corner. Good chemistry. Like I said, these two are really having a good match. Then Sonya Deville does a powerbomb onto the chairs. So powerbombs Liv onto the chairs. And I generally thought, oh crap, Liv is losing here. Turns out she's not. She kicks out. Deville misses finisher. She goes for the finisher, and then she goes into the ropes, and then Liv Morgan runs onto the ropes and gives her the Oblivion onto the chairs for a 1, 2, and a 3. All in all, good match. Really good chemistry, and you can definitely tell this is pre-recorded because the matches we had, if I go through right now, we had 4 matches altogether. But they were quite short. There's a lot of promo stuff. There's a lot of advertisements as such. Because I gave this match a 3.5 out of 5 before we go any further. Then we get a recap. So this is where it starts kicking in. We get a lot of recaps. We get a lot of promotional stuff. There's a recap of Emma's debut from last week. And we get an Emma promo. She turns around and says, you know, she's so she's so heartwarmed to be back. She's been fighting for this for years, and she's finally back. And then all of a sudden, Xia Li comes into frame. Now, I am all for this. I am happy. I love Xia Li. Sorry, not Xia. Xia Li. I love it. I think she's brilliant. Really good wrestler. And to see Emma versus Xia Li, like thingy, yes, please. Both incredible wrestlers, and I'm very excited. Xia Li basically says that she's weak, and Emma's like, well, it was Ronda Rousey, and then pushes Xia Li. Personally, I think Xia Li is tougher and badder than Ronda Rousey. WWE wise, I'm sorry, but I'll get onto this a little bit later. And then we get another recap. So this episode of the review is probably a bit shorter, for the simple case that, again, it's recap based. There wasn't a lot that was going off. It was just essential. It was a go home show, but it was a set up for Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel, and then we can go again. But they did mention, and the good thing about the way they did it was, they kept saying, "Oh, less than 24 hours away," and some of Raw have already flew over. They knew what they were doing, and they're damn smart at doing it because we all know it was pre-recorded. Then we get another thing of basically Logan and Roman doing their press conference in Saudi. And Logan says he's got his own bloodline. He brings out his brother Jake Paul. Now, I'm not a Jake Paul fan, personally. Right? Not the biggest Jake Paul fan. But it's nice to see him in the capacity that he's there. A lot of people didn't like Logan Paul. I quite like Logan Paul personally. And I think he's proved his doubters wrong. And, you know, he's a really good superstar. He looks good. Obviously, against Roman, we'll see. But I'm not too sure. But I did put 2 months. So, literally, Logan Paul does the podcast with Roman Reigns 2 months ago. That's how much time they've had to build this rivalry, and it's lackluster. It's one lucky punch, and that's all they've got. I'm sorry. If Logan Paul had actually knocked out Mayweather, then brilliant. One lucky punch would actually hold, you know. But he didn't knock out Mayweather. Mayweather didn't knock Logan out, in all fairness. So it's one of those that this one lucky punch doesn't make sense because Logan's never KO'd anybody. He's had 2 boxing matches, 3, sorry, but he's lost. He drew to KSI, he lost to KSI, and then he essentially drew, because it was an exhibition match, to Mayweather. Again, nothing against Logan. I think Logan's brilliant. But in terms of character development, he's never knocked anybody out. He's never won a boxing match. So there's no believability. Again, if it was like Mike Tyson actually knocked people's senses, you know, there's an air of, oh, he could actually knock him out, but Logan's never won a boxing match. So the whole one lucky punch doesn't make sense. And then it comes back to Ricochet versus LA Knight. Yes, please. So then we go straight in. Ricochet makes his entrance. One and only. Incredible entrance. Brilliant. And LA Knight comes down, gets to the ring, and then goes to Samantha Irwin, who is Ricochet's girlfriend, which kind of makes sense in this segment. Says, "Yo, darling, I'm the megastar," and turns around and basically says, "You got my name wrong." And was not my name, sorry. "You got my hometown wrong. It's disgusting. You know, don't stand for this. You need to do better." And then he starts going off, and then all of a sudden Ricochet just flies over the top rope and just takes him out completely. It was brilliant. And we get into the ring. Ricochet's just completely all over LA Knight, and I mean like all over, just like punching away. They get back in the ring, and it's just Ricochet again. He's just constantly on top of LA Knight. LA Knight doesn't actually get a lot of offense during this. And before we cut to commercial break, LA Knight's on the outside. Ricochet goes to jump over, but he does his off the rope backflip into the Superman pose, and then we cut to commercial break. A nice touch. Back in the ring after the commercial break, I just put basically great chemistry. I wish Ricochet would win, but I know in my heart he's not gonna, and that was the result in the end. The match itself was a 3 out of 5. It was good. Like, we had some really good spots where Ricochet's jumping about everywhere. LA Knight's kind of being the dastardly heel. And then Ricochet goes for a roll-up, and then LA Knight reverses that back into his own roll-up, but holds the ropes for the win. A proper dirty heel pin. Now, again, I don't mind this, and we go back to the Raws. No distraction finish. These guys actually had matches. Not an issue, and LA Knight is one of the biggest and best heels in the business, and he rolls him up and just grabs the rope. The ref doesn't see it, and he's like, yeah. And that's smart heel work. Again, but for me, Ricochet needs to be, again, we all have our superstars. I love Ricochet. I think Ricochet is amazing. So for me, I think Ricochet needs to be up there in terms of not taking these stupid losses to LA Knight. I get we're trying to build LA Knight, but do we really need to do it at the expense of Ricochet? I don't know. But 3 out of 5 for that match. Again, it was very enjoyable. And it was, yeah, it was a good match. Good TV match. Again, pre-recorded. Then we get another backstage segment, and it's Sami Sammy Uso and the Usos and Solo Sikoa. And basically every time Sammy says something, Jimmy's going yeet, 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 and Jay's like, all right, let's go down to the ring and let's tell them what we're about. Let's tell the Brawling Brutes. And Sammy's like, no, whoa, we don't need to do that. Save, get a good night's rest, fly over, and then face them tomorrow. It's completely fine. And of course, that doesn't go down well. Jay's turn around says, oh, what, because you think you're Sammy Uso? At least he acknowledges him. And then says, oh, we'll go down with the longest reigning tag team champs. Let's make it known who we are. And Jimmy turns around and says, he's got a point, dog. And Jimmy actually sides with Jay for a change here. So it's like, oh, okay. And as soon as they leave, Sammy's like, don't leave. My dogs, don't leave. Turns to Solo, they're gone. Then we get another backstage segment. Again, this is where you can touch pretty raw, pretty cool. It's Bray Wyatt this time. Now, this promo was one of the best because one, it had human interaction. So Bray's kind of cutting a promo. This guy comes in from the back and says something I couldn't quite hear. But he interrupts Bray Wyatt. You do not interrupt Bray Wyatt. You do not, and I repeat, never interrupt Bray Wyatt. And he goes over to start to talk to him. And, you know, they're having a decent conversation. And he's just like, you know, when a car driver's gone in front of you and he smiles at you, you just want to grab him for that 30 seconds just so you can basically hurt him. And you love the feeling of wanting, and it was so, I mean, Bray Wyatt is incredible. And every time he's trying to say something, Uncle Howdy keeps popping in and out. There's a little video edit over his promo. And it's so incredible. And he starts, like, not shouting, but being loud. It's like, you feel the pain, you feel that. And he's gone off on one. I can't remember word for word. But he's just getting louder, but he's getting more expressive. And he says, tell me you're sorry. Look me in my eyes. Mean it and tell me you're sorry. And he was sorry. And then Bray kind of dimmed it down a bit. I was like, oh, okay, no. Go, be on your way. And Bray turns around and starts holding his head and it just cuts out. And I think this is absolutely brilliant because Bray, in his mind, is like going crazy and he's hearing these little things from Uncle Howdy. Being like, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, it's your fault. You're the reason this is the issue. Stuff like that. Absolutely incredible stuff. And then we go to the ring and it's Uso. I put Uso time. Why did I put that? It's Uso time. And as soon as you get down into the ring, the first thing you start hearing is, I feel Uso. I feel Uso. You the twos and we the ones. And they start basically on about that they're going to be the longest reigning tag champs in history. I think of the modern era, not obviously the old era, but maybe the modern era. And of course, you can't have the longest reigning tag team champs without the New Day. New Day interrupts. I was really hoping Big E was here. But he wasn't. He's still recovering, obviously, and I really don't know when we'll see him on our screens. Hopefully it's soon. I'm still wishing you a really speedy recovery, Big E. I hope to see you soon. But I'd rather have you as a manager capacity than hurt your neck. But yes, New Day, and I've put New Day versus Uso, always yes, and then straight away, New Day's not really been used anywhere. They put themselves back in there. Crowd, New Day rocks, over, straight away, over. And then all of a sudden, the Brawling Brutes come out of nowhere and start attacking the Usos. And Xavier turns around to Brutes and goes, beat them. And then they just start kicking the crap out of the Usos. Then Sammy and Solo come down to even off the odds. And they're actually working together, the Bloodline, for a change. Weird. And then there was some really nice, beautiful super kicks that happened. And then everyone at the end is chanting, Sammy Uso. Sammy. Brilliant. Sammy, of course, is still so over. I don't think he won't be. Like, everything he does, he excels at. Brilliant. Then we get a little promo for Ray versus Gunther main event. So, the IC title is the main event of Smackdown. Then we cut back to a little Ray promo. And it's basically him saying that he's the underdog. And he's still on about Dominic and how he wants to set an example. And that he still wants to try and get through to his son. whether it be on a different brand or not. And that, you know, he's basically still, you know, he's the Lucha legend. He is the David to the Goliath. Then we go to the ring, and it's Baszler is coming down to the ring with Ronda Rousey. Baszler's got a really good theme song here, actually. Ronda is obviously Ronda. I don't like it. It's just what it is. And then we get Natalya, who is Natalya. I don't think you could have put worse two people together. So Baszler, she's off on her own. Like, Baszler needs to be her own dominant star. She is dominant as hell. She's been in the same octagon as Ronda Rousey, not with her, but you get the idea. And I just think that having Ronda as the partner to Baszler actually just decredits Baszler for what she's worth, because she doesn't need training. Baszler trained Ronda when she came in. Clearly not a good job. But Baszler trained Ronda. So to have it reversal, I don't think works. Oh, I'm the women's champion. No, Baszler should be the women's champion. My rant over. I'll be honest, this was a very quick match. It was basically just a decimation of Natalya to prove how good Baszler is. And Baszler in charge so far, and basically they call Natalya the boat, the best of all time. Now, I'm sorry, but you're calling her a boat. Not quite sure about this. There's a nice discus clothesline that Natalya does, and then instantly secure through the clutch. She tries to get out of it, doesn't, and she passes out. And that's literally the match. It's a quick match. And then to end it off at the end, Natalya's just there, kind of like, oh, my face, boys. And Baszler just runs and just gives her this knee to the face. Now, admittedly, it's probably fake blood on her nose. There's a lot of blood streaming from her nose. And let me tell you now, it was bad. It looked bad. But it gave us some realism that she fully clocked her in the face with this bloody knee. And then we get a recap of the crap title change from Raw. That's it. The Women's Tag Team Championships change hands at Raw. I hated this. I hate it. Just because I don't think it's the right call. Asuka and Alexa, not for me. But then we get told there's a rematch at Crown Jewel. So there was a match added to Crown Jewel, which means me and Saul now need to do our predictions again. So before Crown Jewel starts, me and Saul are hopefully gonna sit like this and do a reaction video, literally 4 minutes long if that, and just say our predictions. Not reaction video, sorry, prediction video. But yes, we now have the rematch for the women's tag team titles at Crown Jewel. Then we go back. MVP's in the ring. See what I mean? Like, I'm literally nearly up on my last page. Pre-recording means very quick. And it's a lot of backstage stuff or simple, quick stuff. MVP has a surprise for Braun Strowman. He turns around and says, "You faced 4 opponents. Omos faced 4 opponents. Braun, I've got you 5. And these 5 start walking down to the ring. Braun Strowman's music hits and he just runs through them. Now, Braun Strowman usually runs through people, but he literally, all credit to these 5 jobbers, they launched themselves. He looked like he literally just ran through them, like he just went, brilliant. And then he gets into the ring and MVP's still there. MVP made a really bad idea. He sent Omos to Saudi Arabia early. Now, the funny thing about this is, at this point, on WWE Network, or WWE.com, YouTube and all that, Braun Strowman and Omos have already had their face-to-face press conference exchange at Saudi. They did that on the day of Smackdown. So to see Braun Strowman here at Smackdown, knowing that Omos is already over there, and also, again, it's pre-recorded, but this is just a little bit where it's like, oh crap, the realism's gone slightly. Yes, it's pre-recorded, and they're trying their best to make it, oh, it's live. Braun's already doing the face-to-face with Omos because he's at his chin. So in that essence, you broke the 4th wall because Braun Strowman's not actually there. Like they say MVP sent Omos early, but Braun and Omos have done something already over there. Anyway, Braun picks up MVP and power slams him. So is MVP finally cleared? Is that what this is now? Because I know MVP was supposed to be doing surgery And I think he's cleared by the looks of it, because he just got power slammed by Braun Strowman. Then we go in the back and we get, again, another promo, another backstage thing. And it's basically Gunther saying that Ray has no dignity. He has no essence about him. He's no wonder why his son left him, because he's useless. He's worthless. And then we get something I'm excited for. It's the Smackdown World Cup. So obviously football season's on and they want USA to win. We want UK to win. Other people want different countries. I'm very excited by this idea. The World Cup of Smackdown, and it's competitors that will fight basically for this World Cup title or trophy or something. And I'm guessing it's going to be people from each. Think of it as the All Atlantic Championship, but in a tournament format. It's basically best of countries come together. So you're gonna have someone from USA. You're probably gonna have Sheamus from Ireland, Pete Dunne from England, and Drew McIntyre from Scotland. Again, these are just ones I'm chucking out there. You know, you've got Rey Mysterio, Mexico, Karrion Kross, American, Rusev, Bulgaria. I know Rusev's not in there. Emma, Australia. She's not going to compete in that World Cup, but again, there's that. You can have someone Canadian, Sami Zayn, Canadian, you know, Usos, Samoan, you know. But it's a really cool concept, and I'm quite happy for it. So, the SmackDown World Cup. Now, we get on to the main event. Now, this literally took up a page, because you know what? I'm quite happy with how this ended up. I'm there thinking to myself, you know, kind of there just going, main event time, we'll see what it is. And this was a main event, let me tell you. So, first of all, we get told that Gunther outweighs Rey Mysterio by 75 pounds and about 5 feet. Because Gunther to Rey, that look was incredible. David versus Goliath, and that Rey needs to play the cat and mouse game. One thing I will mention, this whole show, Wade Barrett and Michael Cole were exceptional. Everything they did was brilliant. And then as soon as we get to a point where Rey gets caught, Rey gets absolutely decimated. And I mean, Rey gets tossed around like a ragdoll. Gunther's just too strong. Everything that Rey tries to do, he just counters. He just grabs him and chucks him about. And then Rey Mysterio counters and starts going for the knees, which again is the smart face option. Go for the knees. He's a big, tall lad. He's a big, funky, masculine mother. Go for the legs. Go for the knees. And he does. And then Rey Mysterio jumps on. He's got the sleeper locked in deep. He's actually got a really good sleeper on. And there's a bit where they go up to the top rope. And he's trying something. And he literally just launches Rey off of that top rope. He gets him up. And Rey's trying to... It looks like a hurricane run off the top. And he doesn't get it. And he just gets launched off the top rope. Then he comes down. And basically, Rey starts slapping. Gunther starts slapping the crap out of him. It's like, yeah, slap that mofo. Slap him. Give him back what he gives out. And Rey was slapping him. Gunther was laughing, to be fair. He kind of was like, yeah, is that all you've got? And then literally just goes for him. Like, it was incredible. Proper David versus Goliath stuff. There's a lovely bit where Rey Mysterio goes for the wheelbarrow facebuster, goes off the ropes, goes there, comes up, and bam, wheelbarrow effect again. Rey Mysterio is a goat. He, for starters, right, he's my favourite. He was my favourite superstar growing up. He's still one of my favourites. But he was the first guy that got me into wrestling, was Rey Mysterio. Incredible. And I'm 24. So that's how long he's been doing it. I've been watching it since I was young. Then Rey Mysterio hits a 619, and you think, oh crap, he's about to do it. Like, he's hit the 619, and then he misses the frog splash. And then he just absolutely launches Rey. He just tosses him about. And then this is the bit where it picks up a little bit, because he goes to the top, and he actually is about... Well, Gunther's about to chuck him and actually grabs him and gives him Hurricane Rana. Goes to pin him. 1, 2, 2.9 kick out. Very, very close margins, but it starts to make you believe. Everyone's getting off of the seat going, wait, Rey could do this. Rey could actually do this. There's a bit where he goes for another powerbomb. Rey reverses straight into a sunset flip powerbomb. 1, 2, 2.9 kick out. Oh, and everyone is going crazy. The crowd's going mental. They've just seen Rey Mysterio kick out. Sorry, Gunther kick out of a sunset flip. But again, it's closer. It's closer to that kick out of that pin of 3. And then all of a sudden, Gunther gives him a power bomb, and you're thinking that's it, game over. And Rey Mysterio kicks out of the power bomb. So everyone there is like, oh my god, Rey actually has a chance. Rey might do this. What an upset this would be leading into Crown Jewel. He sets him up for another 619, and he's good for the 619. One of my most favourite sequences is anything from 619. Rey goes back off that rope. As he's about to come forward, Gunther turns around and just boots his head off. Boots his head clean off. Gone. And it's like, oh my god, that looked like it hurt. And then he realises the powerbomb's not going to work. So as he's down, he picks him up, launches him up, and then just clotheslines him. Now, I've got to say, it was a bit of a flat finish because it didn't look like that pin was meant to happen until the commentators say after. So he picks him up and then just clotheslines him, and I mean flattens him. 1, 2, 3. Now, Michael Cole said he knew the powerbomb wasn't going to work, so he had to try something new. So it looks like this, I don't know what to call it, pick-up clothesline, I guess, is his new finisher, maybe? We don't know. But it did look clean. It was just a bit flat because it's the first time having a finisher. And I put, people was believing in Rey. The amount of people that got behind Rey, I was like, oh my god, Rey could actually do this. And that's the whole thing with Rey. He makes you believe. He's the ultimate underdog. He makes you believe. My god, did he make you believe he could actually dethrone Gunther. Ultimately, Gunther should have won, and Gunther did win. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I just think that last week, the match between... where is it? The match between Seth and Faye was just that bit better. But this was nearly as good. 4 out of 5. And I give the show an overall of 3.5 out of 5. So that is my review for the Go Home show of Smackdown. Now, the last bit is we should have an intro by Monday for the Raw review of Smackdown review going forward. The newest prediction is Damage Control versus Alexa and Asuka. I think Damage Control get the big win in Saudi for some reason. Don't see why you do hot potato with the title, but let's be honest, having it back on Damage Control is just better. I just want to say a massive thank you to the people that are watching these reviews. It means the world to me, and it would also mean the world to Saul, but he's currently hiding. I'm joking, he's not here. He's obviously always on the Raw one. But we just basically want to say a massive thank you to you guys that tune in and watch our reviews. It means the world to us. We started doing this because we enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing the Smackdown ones. We both enjoy doing the Raw ones because when I've got Saul, we've got a lot more to talk about, and I have a better time, admittedly. But once again, thank you guys for watching the Smackdown review. Me and Saul, hopefully, if we get time, we'll be doing a prediction video within the next 2 hours or so before the card starts. If not, then we'll post it on our Twitter, MrRammyWooWoo. His is Saul Vicar, Vicar Saul, sorry. But there's my Twitch and my Twitter. Without further ado, thank you guys for watching the review. Peace.